You are welcome to Livestock Clinic channel. My name is Mr. Venanti. You can call me Mr. Venanti, the livestock technician. Today what we are going to look at is the general overview of what poultry production is supposed to be and what is supposed to be involved in poultry production. Okay. So poultry production has to do with keeping poultry birds, especially the ones that are tamed for commercial production, keeping them somewhere and then catering for all their needs, starting from the feed they are supposed to eat, the water they are supposed to drink, the medication if necessary, and the place they are supposed to be, so that you in turn get products such as eggs, meat, feather, any other skin, and any other things that you may want to get from them. Okay. So, with that being said, I'm going to make videos separately to tackle individual poultry birds that we have, or individual poultry birds that we are producing commercially. Now, so poultry production is a very profitable venture. If you find yourself in places such as Africa, because the sector hasn't really got much people putting their resources into it, or much production is not done in Africa. So most countries in Africa import a whole lot of poultry products from countries that are doing very well. So it makes it an opportunity. If you are able to penetrate well, you are able to make gains. And the reason why we are not able to have produce according to what our individual countries needs is because it's a very risky venture. Agricultural production in a whole is very risky, but when you come to poultry production, it's riskier than the crop production aspect of agriculture. Because there's a tendency you could put all your investment into it and might not get anything out of it. So that is why when you decide that you're going to do poultry production and you are going to commit certain resources to it, you need to make sure you are getting the right advice. You are getting the right people giving you the right advice you're supposed to take in order to have a successful production. It is good and very laudable for you to take advice from people that are already in the sector and have gained experience over the years. But then, in as much as you are going to rely on their expertise, at least you should get someone who also has technical know-how, who understands the various dynamisms that may come up during the process of your animal production. So if you rely on just the advice your colleague farmers are going to give you, their advice may not work on your farm because environmental situations are different, and what is happening in your place may be different from what is happening in their place. And environmental conditions plays a very key role in animal production. Very, very, very important. So when you are embarking on animal production, you don't overlook environmental factors that may impact your production. Okay, so before you can let's say you are someone new that is coming into what do you call it? You have decided that you are going to embark on animal production, poultry production, and you are going to commit resources to it. So one thing you are going to think about is the land. Definitely your birds would have to have an accommodation. So you would have to get a place where you are going to raise that accommodation for them. So definitely you need to get the land. So after getting the land, you have to put up a structure, and the structure put into has certain knowledge you are supposed to have, so that you don't end up putting a structure where when environmental conditions change, let's say when it starts to rain may enter into your pens and may kill some of your birds. I'm going to make a separate video on how to raise a perfect structure for your birds, the various dimensions you're supposed to consider, the carrying capacity of the various pens that you are going to consider. We are going to make a separate video for that, and you can watch that one too. So after putting up your structure and then providing all that is needed as far as the structure is concerned, you'd have to get your feeders or drinkers. You may decide to go automatic, or you can go with the manual ones. It depends on whether your resources is enough for any of them. And I'm going to make a separate video on the drinkers and the feeders, how you are going to space them in the pen, the sizes you are going to provide for the various stages of the life of the birds. Okay, so after getting your drinkers or feeders, then you are going to bring the birds in. And so the various preparations you are supposed to do before the birds come in, I'm going to make a separate video for that too, and then you can get an insight in that one too. And then a video also be made on the selection of the birds you are going to buy, the type of birds that you are going to buy. If you are going with chicken, for example, there's several breeds of chicken that you could buy, and then within the breeds there are several types that you would want to buy, depending on what you have decided to go with or what you have decided to farm. So you could either go for broilers, layers, or probably the dual purpose type, or you could decide to produce only the cockerels and probably sell them. So a video will be made so that we can talk about each of these types of chicken you want to produce, the very breed that would help you. Of course, selection of the breed has to do with where your location is, and then other factors. So that video too will also be there, and a video will also be done to talk about the remaining poultry birds that producers will want to embark on. So when your birds are in, you have to brood them. So the brooding period is very key over here. There are several things you are supposed to consider during the brooding period, and I'm going to make a separate video for that. So there are several videos that you would have to watch, and then we want to make the videos very short so that we don't lump everything up to make it boring. So there will be a separate video for that, so that you will be able to understand, or so that you'll be able to get some insight as to what you're supposed to do when you bring your birds fresh. So after brooding, there will be the need for you to transfer them to the pens. You start taking care of them until if they are layers, they start to lay. If they are broilers, they reach their maturity stage. Then you kill them, or you sell them out, or whatever you want to do to them. After putting up the structure and everything that has to come in place before your birds come in, one other thing you will have to consider is the feed you are going to give to the birds. You see, you need to get your feed ready before the birds arrives. You don't have to bring the birds before you start thinking about what you're going to give them to eat. So another video is going to be made on the type of feed you are supposed to give to the various stages of the life of your birds, the ingredients that are supposed to put together to get a complete feed, and how to put these ingredients together, and then how to be able to cut down costs as far as feed is concerned, because at the end of the day the profit is what you're looking at. So if you don't know how to cut down the cost of your feed, you end up pumping all your money inside there. When you sell the birds, you probably in many cases don't even get any profit out of it, or even if you get it, something small. So we are going to make another video that will elaborate more basically on feed. Yeah. So stay tuned.